Hey, Fit Like YouTube, welcome back to another episode. Okay, so it was a few weeks ago I managed to catch a live stream by Reef, and one of the guests he had on was Julian Sprung, so I thought it was the perfect opportunity to ask him how to eliminate pineapple sponges, since, as you know, my tank is absolutely plagued with them. And believe it or not, a wee while ago, well, maybe a month ago, I'd cleaned the sump. Well, the pineapple sponges are growing back again already, so I thought I'd ask Julian Sprung about the pineapple sponges and see what one of the experts' opinion was. So he gave me an answer, and in this episode I'm going to do what he suggested and we'll see how that goes. But before we start, I just managed to capture Jaws, the pink spot goby, and his pistol shrimp cleaning out their den, so it was pretty awesome to watch. Okay, right, that's him tucking in for the night, so let's get on with this video.
JDReef is got a very specific question about sponges. Is there any natural way of eliminating pineapple sponges that aren't a risk to SPS corals?
Pineapple sponges.
Yeah.
I'm stumped on that one.
Sponge,
oh wow!
But that's a common name for a sponge that I assume it's an encrusting sponge that grows over corals and does harm.
I do not know the answer to that.
That's
the first time I've heard
I'm
of that.
Googling it right now.
My recommendation to the hobbyist is that there are a number of sea stars that feed on sponges, and I would give a shot at Lynchia multiflora, which is fairly easy to find in the trade. They come in, as hitchhikers on live rock, and they reproduce by just fission, by breaking. I keep them in my systems as sort of a sponge control.
So these are the starfish recommended by Julian Sprung on Reef, a live stream that I managed to catch a few weeks ago, and he recommended I use these starfish to help eliminate or get the sponges under control. So I'll add them, see how they get on. So we've just got everything acclimating at the moment. Once the snails are acclimated, what I plan to do is put them and transfer them into a separate bucket, but before I do, I'm going to give all of them a good scrub with a toothbrush and just make sure that any algae, any stuff on them is completely gone. Okay, so I'll be back once these guys are ready to go in. Now the snails will be ready before the starfish. I'm really going to take my time with the starfish, just because these are super sensitive and I want to ensure that these guys survive and help get rid of this pineapple sponges. So we'll mix the snails, Trocus, turbos, pointy turbos, and some spiny Astrea snails.
A few moments later.
Okay, that's them all nice and clean now. So about another 40 snails to go in, and some amount of crap came off of them. Okay, so the next batch of snails are ready to go in, and just going to do the same again. Transfer them into this pot, give all the shells a good scrub with the toothbrush, and then we'll get them into World's End. Okay, that's them all nice and clean now. So about another 40 snails to go in. Okay, so I've put all the snails together in this wee container, and I'm just in the process of adding them all to the display. So good number, 80 snails to add, so I'm hoping that this is going to help eat up some of this algae. get the tank looking a bit better. Okay, so the starfish have been acclimating now for about 2 hours, so just in the process now of getting these into the display. And one thing to note with starfish is you should never expose them to the air. This can really damage them and pretty much shorten the life of your starfish, kill them basically, so you really do not want to expose them to the air at all. So I've just got this little petri dish and I'm just sliding them into this petri dish without exposing them to the air. It's a wee bit fiddly. Okay, so now they're in, and then it's just a case of taking this and placing that into the display. So I'll just grab the camera, 2 seconds. Okay, so they're still under the water, which is fine, and we'll stick that into the display. Actually, hang on a minute, that's probably, I can take some of the water out. Oops. I'll get rid of as much water as I can, but still make sure that they're still underwater. That'll do, I think. Right, that'll do, and just stick this into the tank now. And this is the best way for any starfish to be introduced to your aquarium. You really do not want to expose them to the air. It just messes them up basically. Okay, so we'll put one there. Come on, this guy's a wee bit bigger. Okay, so that's a cleanup crew now in. So there's one of the starfish. I believe it's Lynkia multiflora. There's the other one. Right, that's everything in the tank, the starfish and all the snails. So it'll be interesting to see how the tank gets on over the next few days and weeks. I'm hoping that the starfish start getting rid of some of that pineapple sponges, that's for sure. And it'll be interesting to see how the snails get on with all that algae. They're definitely not going to starve, that's for sure. So unfortunately I'm going to have to use my trap. I really need to try and capture the convict tang Alcatraz because he's just such a bully, and the powder blue is keeping him in check, but it's just not relaxing seeing the two of them going at it all the time. And if I catch the powder blue first, well then the convict tang Alcatraz is just going to beat up on the yellow again. So first things first, we need to try and get Alcatraz, the convict tang, out. Nope. Well, after all that, I got a bit trigger happy and I activated the trap a bit too soon. I should have waited a wee while longer for Poseidon to get used to it a bit more, but with the staple gun going in and out all the time, I was amazed that the powder blue went in and I just got itchy fingers. Oh well, never mind. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Okay, so it's been a couple of days since the convict tang was removed, and one thing we've noticed is that there's absolutely zero aggression in the tank anymore. No fighting. The tangs that are remaining all get on fine, and everybody is swimming along, seems friendly enough. So the biggest problem seems to be it was just the convict tang. He was a bit of a bully, so I'm kind of glad that we caught him first and not the powder blue, because the powder blue is my wife's favourite and I think we're just going to keep him. Did think about removing him, but we'll keep him. Obviously when I add some more fish, we'll see how he is towards the newcomers, but yeah, so I think having the Alcatraz gone seems to be the ticket to bring peace to the aquarium, and now it's far more enjoyable to sit and watch because all the fish swimming about through the rocks, through the caves, and there's nobody getting beat up and pinned down. Now, I had Alcatraz for about 5 years or something, so I must admit I'm gutted to see him go. He was one of my favourite fish, but it's really just not enjoyable trying to watch your tank and just constantly seeing that fish fighting other fish. It's just no fun at all. If the powder blue wasn't there, he was like trying to kill the yellow tang. So I mean, and the powder blue was more than up to put up with him, so that was fine. But yeah, it just wasn't nice to keep that going, so decided, nope, gonna bite the bullet and try and get them out. So it's definitely worked, and everything is far more peaceful in the aquarium. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this episode. Thank you for watching. Until the next one, happy reefing. Bye bye.